Today, real estate practitioners, we are going to talk about real estate marketing, the topic I like the most. First and foremost, let's look at the nature of the property market. The property market generally fulfills some of the following major functions, which include negotiations resulting in establishing the prices at which buyers and sellers, landlords and tenants are willing to do business. Secondly, the prices are determined by the market forces, the supply and demand forces. It also assists in allocating scarce production resources to the real estate sector in competition with other competing economic sectors. And of course, lastly, it facilitates trade in real rights in immovable property. The property market is segmented into a number of sub-markets. And of course, generally, it is derived from the fact that there will generally be only a few potential purchasers for all given property. For every prospective buyer, there will only be a few properties which satisfy the buyer's particular needs. And as all we know, the name dictates, immovable property cannot be moved from one market to another. Still on the segmentation of the property market, the demand for immovable property cannot be shifted from an undersupplied to an oversupplied market. And of course, there are different markets in different areas at different price ranges for the same action or two, depends on the different needs and circumstances of buyers and sellers. A single classification of the property market. The property market classification is undertaken on the following basis. The nature of the real rights in the property concerned. It is according to the designated land use, whether it is used, for instance, for residential, commercial, industrial, or agricultural, or whether the property is urban or rural, or whether the property is used according to the purpose for which land is to be used by the acquired, such as occupation, investment, development, recreation, etc. Let us now look at the characteristics of the property market. The property market is characterized by its participants, who are normally your owners, buyers, sellers, landlords, tenants, estate agents, and the various activities contributing to the disposal, management, letting, or exchange of real rights in immovable property. It is also consisted of the product, which is the immovable property, which is mostly an under-standardized product, since no two properties are likely to be exactly the same, although there will be variable properties whose prices and or rentals may fall within similar ranges. Still on the characteristics of the property market, the determination of prices of the property are established by the interaction of supply and demand. I've already talked about the supply and demand forces. Of course, also the nature of the transaction. The property transaction must comply specific legal requirements in order for them to be compliant and legal. And of course, the marketing essentially entails satisfying the needs of the customer and establishing what target customers want in terms of such relevant factors such as the location, the size, the amenities within the locality, finances, as well as other image target customers have of properties at given prices. Selecting an appropriate locality, as I've already indicated, and the development of residential, recreational, or commercial or industrial properties. The other variable, of course, is the designing, the constructing, and finishing of residential units, recreational accommodation, or commercial and residential buildings for occupation, sale, managing, or letting. And of course, the other important variable to consider is matching customer real rights, requirements with available properties for sale or for renting. Ensuring after purchase or rental satisfaction so that persons are happy with the product that they have purchased or are renting or are having managed, while owners, sellers, and landlords are equally pleased with the outcome of the transaction. That is very important to consider. Also encouraging repeat transactions by clients is also important. Let's look at the real estate marketing. Marketing management comprises the activities that necessarily each and every real estate business must engage in, which include the sourcing and collecting of information on the marketing environment, the setting of marketing goals, planning the marketing strategy, organizing and implementation of chosen market strategy, monitoring and controlling the marketing strategies. That's very important. The marketing management is must continuously be implemented and controlled, with all business functions being combined to attain the strategic objectives of the plan. Let's now look at the production concept. Consumers are offered products and services that are widely available and affordable. And consumers in a specific area may, for example, prefer to purchase smaller sectional titles, units in high-rise buildings. And of course, there would consequently be a high demand for small sectional titles unit in that area, and if there is a possibility that demand could exceed the supply. The production concept would simply apply under circumstances where a property administration company wishes to administer as many properties as possible to increase the product. Still on the product concept, the customers, such as property developers, favor the products and services considered to be the best in terms of attributes, in terms of performance, in terms of features, and in terms of style. Most often, property developers design and develop buildings which are intended to address the secondary needs of their target customers, who may be looking for spacious and functional accommodation with reasonable prices. Such developers should avoid over-capitalizing of their offerings in an effort to be best pricing them out of the market. Let's look at the other feature of your marketing management strategy, which is the selling concept. The selling concept is of utmost importance for each and every real estate business. And of course, it involves the product which you are selling, which cannot be sold by itself, since it has no unique negotiating attributes. Of course, that requires aggressive promotional activities in order for you to market that particular property. The marketing concept. The marketing concept focuses on the following: the needs of the customers, which are satisfied through your marketing strategy, the implementation of coordinated marketing efforts, and of course, going to the next slide, effective marketing is characterized by optimal customer satisfaction. That's very important. You need to satisfy your customer with your products and services. Target market, which shows the best growth potential, and of course, focusing on the company goals. That is very important. And also, your efforts should be coordinated at the organizational level. It is essential that the principals of the real estate organization have faith in the marketing concept of their organization and adopt the correct attitude towards doing business. They should practice the concept by not only leading through example, by also consistently motivating organizational employees. In most cases, the successful adoption of the marketing concept will ensure that the organization flourishes, grows, and remains profitable. Of course, the next step is to ensure that there is coordinated effort. It is essential that principals of the real estate organization have faith in the marketing strategy of the organization and should show a positive attitude toward the strategy. They should practice the marketing concept by not only leading through an example, but also consistently motivating other organizational employees to buy into the strategy. In most cases, the successful adoption of the marketing concept will ensure that the organization flourishes, the organization grows, and the organization remains profitable. The real estate enterprise should not view the marketing management process in a narrow sense, but should regard it as a holistic, continuous process within the organization. They should continually conduct strategic market planning while critically monitoring, review, and adapting the marketing strategy as and when it is necessary. They should also ensure that the management and staff consciously subscribe to the marketing concept. They should ensure that the management and staff are aware of such important matters such as, for instance, the nature of the environment within which the organization operates, the composition of the market, the needs of the market, customer service quality, product knowledge, company knowledge, managing customer relations, and of course, lastly, customer care. This is very important. They should frequently evaluate management and staff on client-related performance and take such action as may be required from time to time. The following information is generally required to enable an enterprise to design, develop, and promote an effective marketing strategy in the real sense. The factors to be considered include the specific needs of the market, the profile of the target market, which is mostly likely to be interested in the real estate offerings of the enterprise, the specific attributes that the target market seeks in any property offering, who within the target market makes final decisions or influences final decisions, the size of the total market, the share of the total market, opportunities and threats to the enterprise, strengths and weaknesses of the enterprise, the main competitors within the enterprise and their strategies, the way in which competitors might conceivably react to the implementation by the enterprise of its marketing strategies. Once the enterprise has sourced, analyzed, and required information, it should be optimal to develop and execute its preferred marketing strategy. It is essential at the outset that the enterprise should establish smart marketing goals. In other words, those goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound or time-free. These goals will generally be expressed in terms of sales of volumes, turnover, market share, growth in sales, profitability, and return on investment. The chosen market strategy must be effectively implemented and controlled. This is very important. The enterprise must thus continually monitor whether the marketing strategies are being properly implemented, being performed effectively, being profitable, and contributing to the success of the overall enterprise strategy and goals. When marketing real estate as a service, the following factors must be taken into account. Intangibility, that's the first thing that needs to be considered. Estate agents rendering the service are professional, well-trained, skilled, and competent. Support staff of the estate agent's enterprise are knowledgeable, friendly, and polite to customers, and ensure that the business premises of the enterprise is well-positioned, accessible, and welcoming. And of course, the enterprise consistently projects an aura of professionalism in its advertising, logos, slogans, work ethic, and etc. The second important factor is inseparability. Estate agent and the users of estate agencies services must interact with one another in the sense that the production of an estate agency service, such as showing a potential purchaser a home that is of sale, and perceiving and experiencing the estate agency service, such as potential purchaser viewing the home and listening to the estate agent's presentation. That is the second variable that estate agencies need to take into account. The third variable is variability. Estate agent services are variable since they are rendered by persons having human foible, faults, and shortcomings as typified by ranges in mood, attitudes, skills, and competencies. Estate agent must proactively seek to establish sound, long relationships with users and their estate agency services. They should be mindful of their necessity of allowing effective and positively managing, continuously monitoring, and actively furthering established client relationships. The last variability to be considered is perishability. The demand for estate agent services varies from time to time. It is self-evident, for instance, that if estate agent misses an appointment without having tendered an acceptable apology, or the estate agent will have been rendered. Having regard to the foregoing, it is essential for estate agents professionally and effectively to differentiate their intangible estate agent services, effectively manage their estate agent services to ensure need and satisfaction among the different users of those services, and of course, ultimately managing estate agent service productivity. Due to the often intangible nature of estate agent services, they can well be perceived by the users of those services as being undifferentiated. But however, a competitive advantage can, however, be obtained by estate agent enterprises as they are, for instance, offering such additional benefits to their target audience, such as intensive promotion and advertising, the use of innovative and unique promotional tools, facilitating the provision of such additional services, such as legal, architectural, and survey services where required, providing maintenance and administrative services, and so forth where required. That is how a particular organization can differentiate itself from others in terms of its competitive strategy. The estate agent enterprise can engage in image differentiation by using different symbols and colors, signboards, uniforms, and office layout, and design to create and maintain appeal that immediately distinguishes the enterprise from its competitors. Doing so may induce the users of estate agencies to choose to do business with that particular enterprise. The providers of estate agencies should consistently endeavor to ascertain that the criteria levied on by prospective users of estate agencies to evaluate different estate agency enterprises and select specific estate agency service providers. The most important attributes sought by the users of estate agency services to obtain need satisfaction immediately prior to, while using, and after having used estate agency services, and of course the identified attributes that will cause the user of estate agency services to continue to utilize the services of that particular estate agents. These attributes can possibly include such aspects such as locality, security and reliability, professionalism, knowledge and skill, general communication skills, pricing and value of money, and cost effectiveness. It is self-evident that sound real estate marketing decision will be the result of the enterprise following sourced and obtained accurate and reliable information concerning the marketing environment. This is very important. And the information which has been received should be regarded and managed by the estate agent's enterprise as a critical enterprise resource. Marketing decisions can be based on the internal reports, the marketing intelligence, and the commissioning of professional marketing research. Estate agency enterprises are well advised to establish, maintain, and fully update an accurate internal marketing database. That is very important. And of course, such database should include issues such as details and listed properties, and analysis of properties, particulars of transactions concluded, responses received by different promotional campaigns, the performance of the various estate agents in the service, costs incurred and each inquiry, costs incurred in respect of each concluded transaction, any other relevant marketing information. This will be consistent in your database. The internal database should be consistently and continuously updated and analyzed by the estate agency enterprise and used to identify vital market information. For example, the most popular and least popular properties in the market, important target market segments and their demographics, the most effective advertising and communication media, the most effective promotional methods, the most successful and other messages, the most productive estate agents in the service and enterprise, and the extent to which specific property development services are more utilized and more profitable than others. We have come to the end of our presentation. As I've already indicated, marketing strategy constitutes one of the cornerstones of a successful, prosperous, and profitable organization. Please remember to complete the 10 multiple choice questions in order for you to earn your 5 CPD verifiable points.